Neurocycle. It's in this most recent book, Cleaning Up Your Mental Mess, with the research. Very simple, very hands-on stuff. Now, I'm telling you this to tell you that the answer to how you manage triggers is the Neurocycle. So the Neurocycle is essentially taking the concepts of what is mind, what is brain, and how do you use your mind to change your brain and to change the response in your brain and your body. So that's the baseline, that sort of the introduction to the concept.
Absolutely. And I loved how, in the midst of that, you even tied in agency, like understanding we're in charge here. We can make these decisions. We can change things. I love how you tied that in with that explanation there.
Absolutely. That's so important. In fact, I talk about the pathway to empowerment, and the pathway to empowerment. And actually, you'll see there's a little graphic. I'll see if I can grab it quickly. I've got a graphic in here of the pathway to, I'll find it as we're talking, in this book. In my most recent clinical trials, I showed how, as a person recognizes their agency through self-regulated mind management, they can then look at an issue like a trigger, which is basically a warning signal that there's something going on and it needs to be addressed. And how would you then look at it, and how would you address it, and how would you basically reconceptualize it? And that's essentially the pathway to empowerment. So the Neurocycle, which is the system of mind management or self-regulated mind management, is how you would deal with the trigger. And it's essentially bringing all thoughts into captivity and renewing the mind. So I've done this, basically brought the science behind that huge concept. So what would help now is if I explain to you what mind is, what brain is, what thoughts are, what memories are, and what triggers actually are in the brain and the body. And then
Please.
I'm just going to quickly link it into that scripture as a foundation, because you've got the sort of background foundation now, and you've got the concept of self-regulated mind management, and the trigger would be managed through the self-regulated mind management, and the Neurocycle is how you would do it. And I'm obviously going to explain that. But then I just want to quickly remind everyone of that scripture, because you've both said it now. Well, I've said it a couple of times and you referenced it too, renewing the mind, and the key thing there with renewing the mind is it's ing. We're supposed to always be renewing the mind. So it's a continuous thing. And that's very important. Daily, moment by moment, every moment that you're awake, you should be renewing. And then at night when you sleep, you sort out the renewing. So you prepare yourself for sleep during the day. So renewing is not something you do when you go to church on Sunday or once a week or whatever. Renewing is a lifestyle. And then if you also look at the other scripture, bring all thoughts into captivity. All thoughts is a huge concept. My question was, how many thoughts do you have to bring into, what does that mean? What does that actually look like on a practical level?
You'll know this, but isn't it something like it's tens of thousands of thoughts?
I write about that in this book as well. So it's in any one day, from the time you open your eyes till the time you go to sleep, you will build at least 8,000 to 10,000 thoughts. Wow. And I'm going to show you what a thought looks like in a moment. But it's more. And to build each thought, you actually are going to be informed by existing thoughts. And that means that, like, for example, now as I'm talking, all kinds of thoughts are coming into your head. You're building a thought at the moment of the information I'm giving you. But to build it, you have to draw on existing thoughts. So in any one day, you'll build 8 to 10,000, but you're going to have at least 30 to 40,000 going through your head, because each thought you build is informed by 5 to 10,000 thoughts. So if you don't have any kind of self-management, mind management, self-regulated mind management in place, you're going to stay in a messy state. Now, it's okay to be a mess, but not if you stay there. You're supposed to be messy and then managing your mess. And that's why I actually called my most recent book, Cleaning Up Your Mental Mess.